Hello, everyone. My name is Adewale, developer advocate at CodeSandbox, and I'm excited to have you guys joining us again for another CodeSandbox changelog update. We're going to be talking about the things that we've been working on over the last few weeks and get you up to speed on them. Today, I'm going to be joined by Neco. Hello, Neco.
Hello.
Hi. Do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Sure. I'm a product manager here at CodeSandbox.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Nico. So, you've been building a lot of amazing things this past few weeks. Do you want to tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot to catch up on. We have two different updates in our change log. I'll start by talking about week 41. It was a big week for us. We created a new unified dashboard. So there was a few things that will be noticeable for users that are coming from either the pre-existing dashboard that had all of our sandboxes or our dashboard with our repositories. Now everything exists under one umbrella, and you can just visit everything that you need in one place. I'll take you through that briefly. So over here, you'll see that you have your repositories as well as your sandboxes here. I can switch out between my teams here. There's a lot of test ones. And I've got my personal and my team. I can see all of my recent work here. And then I can come in and open up a repository and kind of pick up where I left off or come and see my templates here. The other thing that's worth noting is that at the same time that we put the repositories and the sandboxes together, we also introduced cloud sandboxes. And cloud sandboxes are, you can see here that we've got this cloud icon. It's still in beta. There's a lot of features that we're adding to it right now, but we wanted to get this out to you. The way you can find them here. So you can see that we have more ways to start. Right now, the way, if you want to start from scratch, it will always be from a template. And you can do a cloud sandbox template or a browser template. And you can see here that I've got this remix. I can also import a repository from GitHub, which is kind of what you know in our old dashboard. It's slightly different from the V2 dashboard that had our repositories. And the one thing I'll note about the cloud sandboxes is that we had container sandboxes. We still support container sandboxes, but cloud sandboxes are the best place to do anything that requires any kind of back-end infrastructure. It's also great for anything that's just front-end. Essentially, it means that everything's running on a virtual machine, and you have basically all the capabilities that you would in our repositories, but in a sandbox version. So if it's not anything big that you just want to get something started, if you want to get your Node next Astra remix thing, whatever your idea is, you can just pop this open and it will open up a fresh sandbox for you.
So basically, cloud sandboxes, we have like a full capacity of being able to run Node, basically replicating our local environment and in the cloud, not just our browser-focused sandboxes that we've had in the past, that allows you to run just front-end applications or things that would not require using a terminal. With the cloud sandboxes, now we have dev tools, terminals, custom commands, and previews based on whatever it is that you might need. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I'll draw attention to here is in the browser sandboxes, we don't have any way to open up that sandbox in VS Code. We do have that available in repositories, and we now have that available in cloud sandboxes as well. So I can open this sandbox in VS Code using a remote SSH, and then I'll have my CodeSandbox extension in there to allow for collaboration. But we also have VS Code Insiders. I think we talked about that last time, but that's there as well.
That's awesome.
We have two announcements in the change log, one from week 41 and this last announcement as well regarding our pricing changes. So we wanted to create a pricing structure that would work well for teams working together. And we also wanted to provision more VM specs for teams. And so we have trials available for people that want to try out Team Pro and see if the VM specs really match what your needs are for your repository or your sandboxes. We also allow for more editors on Team Pro. And I think another major thing to note is that private sandboxes and repositories are specifically for Team Pro or personal Pro as well. And so we announced those pricing changes a few weeks back, and there's a lot more information. We're happy to answer any questions if you're curious about what would work for you. But yeah, mostly we want you to be able to get dip your toes in and test it out for yourself to see if that is a good fit.
Awesome. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments or join us on Twitter or on Discord. I will be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, and the last one is a big update for iOS. I'm just going to jump into the change log here so you can kind of read while I talk. But we brought Cloud Sandboxes into iOS. We also did a revamp of the dashboard. The dashboard is always slightly different from the web dashboard, and we've just kind of give it a little bit of an update to match the experience as well. And there's a slightly different onboarding flow. Oh no, that's for the web editor. We have more onboarding, but I think that also exists in iOS too. And one thing that I'll also note that this is continuing into this week. If you've been working on a project, have noticed any funny behavior with Git, it should be gone after this final deployment. We've been refining that, coming through it to make sure that all of those kinks are ironed out.
Amazing. We've been working a lot over the last few weeks, and I'm glad to see all these amazing features and updates that we've made. Thank you so much, Neco, for sharing this with us. I hope people are watching have also been able to get a better glimpse of our updates over the last few weeks. If you have any questions, do hesitate to drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to give you answers to them. Thank you, and see you next time.